Hello. Tonight we are going to channel Lilith for two different people. The first person we are going to channel Lilith for is Jose, my friend and client from Mexico, and he wants to make a lifelong pact with Lilith. We worked together for a really long time, and we will channel Lilith for him. The second person we will channel Lilith for is Katt. Katt is a relatively young person, like a really young girl, like 2 years younger than me, and she wants to dedicate her life to work with Lilith as well. So we have two people wanting to have a lifelong pact with Lilith. And in this video, we are going to channel Lilith twice. First for Jose, then for Katt, and we're gonna see what Lilith has to say. Now, in this video, I'm going to explain the pitfalls about lifelong dedication to any kind of spiritual path. And that is something which a lot of people don't want to talk about. Specifically, a lot of people, especially when they are really young and they have some problem in their life, like when I had my mother having cancer, I made a lifelong commitment to working with the jinn without knowing what they are, without knowing who they are, without having adequate theological or cosmological and occult esoteric education. I was misguided by a lot of Christian perceptions, and I made an agreement that I will, until the end of my life, practice occultism in a genic sense. And so, no matter which religion I am, no matter to which religion I convert, no matter what I think about certain jinn, I still have to work with some of them in order to fulfill the agreement. And when you make that kind of an agreement, it is really impossible to get out of it, because if you get out of it, some of your family members will get into it. The jinn will basically camp and they will have their agreement fulfilled no matter do you get in or do you get out, because those jinn you made a pact with, they exist after you die. Like, your soul dies, but they will take somebody from your lineage and they will work with them if you don't fulfill your obligation. And so that is something to keep in mind when you want to make a lifelong agreement. Is in the eyes of the jinn kind, there is no necessarily just an individual. They see you as a product of your bloodline, of your tribe, of your family. And so when they make a covenant with you, they are not necessarily making it with you, they are making it with your bloodline and your family. That's why we can talk about bloodlines which have agreement with the jinn, or families which bound a certain jinn to a certain object, and then he is in the possession of the family even after that individual dies. And so that is something which has to be kept in mind, is that maybe you can get out of an agreement, but the family cannot. Because they are making a contract, even without you realizing, with a family line. They are not making a contract with you. And so, are there ways to work with any spirit you want to work with, within a Christian framework, within a Jewish framework, within an Islamic framework? Yes, there is. And that's basically the goal of this channel from now on. The goal of this channel from now on is to explain to people how you can work with those entities and still be a monotheist and still be a part of society and pursue occult knowledge and not be a freak. Because a lot of people, they work with what we know as the darker spirit, darker jinn. And they are dark for the sake of being dark, and they don't understand what they are dealing with, which creates a lot of chaos. And they go into this mistake by assuming that the entities they are working with are good and it's just Christian, Muslim, Jewish slander and we have to stop slandering them. No. Many of the entities we are going to invoke tonight, like Lilith, are objectively destructive and not necessarily the easiest to work with. Now, I am not saying that Lilith cannot be beneficial. What I am saying is that when the rabbis say Lilith can cause storms, plagues, and tornadoes, and also she can send succubi to men at night, and she can cause a miscarriage, but also give you enormous amount of occult knowledge, they are not doing any slander. Maybe occult community nowadays isn't ready to take it, but there are many rituals which Lilith which deal exactly with the things I am discussing here. And so when confronted with them, they would then assume that you are working with the Judaic egregore or whatever. The thing is, they just don't want to accept the reality of Lilith. You thinking Lilith is Ningir or Din or Nibiru or Asherah or whatever you are thinking Lilith is, doesn't change the nature of Lilith. Lilith is objectively real creature and creation of God, spiritual intelligence. Your opinion doesn't matter, nor does my opinion matters. Spirits are who they are, and our opinion of them doesn't change them. Okay? You can think that Moloch, for example, simply passed children to the flames, like he passed them above the fire and they were chilling. But the reality is, the entire North Africa is filled with the remnants of sacrificed children. Like near every large Punic settlement, you have what you know as Tomhat, which is a ritual pit with a bunch of burned animal remains mixed with children remains, which were burned in a ritual setting. And so you have two options. One option is deny entirety of archaeology regarding the Canaanite pantheon, for example, or accept that Moloch in the ancient times have been practicing and participating in the same things Bible discusses. And so did Baal, and so did many of those entities. There are Roman records from the era of the Punic Wars and Egyptian records from the era of them attacking the Canaanites, that Canaanites and Carthaginians, who had the same pantheon, did exactly what the Old Testament accuses them of doing. Okay? And in the same way, you have Babylonian records of Lilith, / Akkadian records of Lilith. Then you have Hebrew records of Lilith. Then you have European records of Lilith. All of those records of Lilith are identical to each other. I mean, the reason why I'm telling people this, okay, why do I talk for 10 minutes about this before I even do the channel, is Lilith will give you enormous amount of occult knowledge. That's actually one of her main roles. As the dark entity representing the dwelling presence of God, in a sense. I mean, she isn't dwelling presence of God. God is God. Lilith is a creation. So Lilith isn't God. I want to make it clear, because equating Lilith with God would be wrong and dangerous. There is only one universal source, only one God. Lilith is a creation of, right? But Lilith can teach the dark side of divine names, okay? So the negative side of the entirety of creation and divine energy can be taught by her. She has that information. I want to make it clear that she has that information, and I applied it and used it and tried it in many different ways, and it worked. And that is the real meaning of the Kabbalistic legend of Lilith. It has nothing to do with who fucked who. Okay, uh, the entire of occult community basically focused on sex positions in Lilith's story instead of understanding the story, right? And they reduced Lilith to, if you are a man and work with Lilith, you have to let women ride you. It turned into sexual perversion kink. Okay, the real point of the Lilith story is she has an information about the dark side of divine knowledge. Okay, that's the real point of the Lilith story, and that's what story means, essentially. And when you are making a lifelong pact with Lilith, you are dedicating yourself to the lifelong study of that. I want to make it clear. You are dedicating yourself to the lifelong study of the dark energy present within God Himself, in exchange for something. Okay? Is studying spiritual darkness and destruction what you want to dedicate yourself for your entire life? That's what I am asking you. If you want to make a pact like this. Because if you don't fulfill it and you make it, somebody from your family down the line will be recruited in one way or the other, knowingly or unknowingly, because they make pacts with bloodlines. Is this something you want to do? As somebody who approached me for this kind of a service, to serve as a mediator in this. Is that something you want to do? Because, like, your opinion of who Lilith is, or my opinion of who Lilith is, doesn't change the fact of who she is. And do you want to make a lifelong commitment to that? Because working with spirits is not about perception, it's about consequences. Do you want to suffer the consequence of studying dark and destructive side of spiritual energy for your entire life? Okay? Before this channeling starts, before I start it, before you listen to it, I want you to ask yourself this question. Okay? Now I finished the introduction and I can start invoking. I call you, servants of those names, to invoke Lilith into my flesh. Barhami Balgatam Toran Mardar Marjal Narka Bargash Almash Katieta Talot Vershan Kashkat Yamashalak Dakrash Kazmas Bilit Indrata Gidia Shatsi Zimia Zimia Kadba Mashkia Zakabara Birushala Wengang Yilman Jalad Mazia Majalad Vandia Viaj Barhami Balgatam Toran Mardar Marjal Narka Bargash Almash Katieta Talot Vershan Kashkat Yamashalak Dakrash Kazmas Bilit Indrata Gidia Zimia Zimia Kadba Mashkia Zakabara Birushala Wengang Yilman Jalad Mazia Majalad Vandia Viaj Bargami Malgadam Duran Mardar Marjal Gambarga Jalmarga the Dolanga the Marjal Gasmas Viladra the Gidiam Nigo the Miazimia Gandamar Zagabara Mirojala Wenga Yalbarla Mazia Marjala Vandia Viaj Bargami Malgadam Duran Mardar Marjal Gambarga Jalmarga the Dolanga the Marjal Gasmas Viladra the Gidiam Nigo the Miazimia Gandamar Zagabara Mirojala Wenga Yalbarla Mazia Marjala Vandia Viaj Barham Malgadam Duran Mardar Marjal Gambarga Jalmarga the Dolanga the Marjal Gasmas Viladra the Gidiam Nigo the Miazimia Gandamar Zagabara Mirojala Wenga Yalbarla Mazia Marjala Vandia Viaj Barham Malgadam Duran Mardar Marjal Gambarga Jalmarga the Dolanga the Marjal Gasmas Viladra the Gidiam Nigo the Miazimia Gandamar Zagabara Mirojala Wenga Yalbarla Mazia Marjala Vandia Viaj Barhami Belgadam Doran Mardar Marjal Gambarga Jalmarga the Dolanga the Marjal Gasmas Viladra the Gidiam Nigo the Miazimia Gandamar Zagabara Mirojala Wenga Yalbarla Mazia Marjala Vandia Viaj Barham Malgadam Doran Mardar Marjal Gambarga Jalmarga the Dolanga the Marjal Gasmas Viladra
I call you servants of those names to invoke Lilith into my flesh. I call you servants of those names to invoke Lilith into my flesh. You need to invoke me into your body. You already know the means. You already know how. You need to do it. Your pact is accepted. There are conditions, man, of your long-term pact. The conditions are as follows. You have to create one succubus every year with me. You need to offer me your seed once a year in this specific manner to create a succubus spirit once every year for the rest of your life. In return, I will grant you money, wealth, knowledge, spiritual protection, and I will grant you my wrath. I will spiritually marry you in a symbolic sense. And more you work with me, the stronger will pact be. This is a ritual you need to perform. You need to summon me with 2 roses, and you need to light incense. Then start calling me. When I come, offer me your seed while proclaiming, I offer you, Lilith, my life force, to create son and daughter of yours. In return, give me money, power, spiritual knowledge, and spiritual protection in this year. You will do this once a year, every year until you die. If you break a pact, I will withdraw what I gave you. But if you keep it, I will keep multiplying what I gave you. I will keep multiplying woman, wealth, and spiritual knowledge. And I will upkeep my spiritual protection. Again, you need to call me with 3 red roses and incense, and offer me your seed while proclaiming, I offer you my seed, Lilith, to help you create son and daughter of yours. You do it once a year, and you call me as often as you can during that year. You do it every year. Okay. This was extremely draining for me. Extremely difficult. So it looks like she wants to make a succubus creation marriage pact with this individual. I have never got a similar request from Lilith before. This is unique to this individual. Out of all of the Lilith pacts I negotiated, there has never been a request like this. Okay, I will recharge myself with some divine names and then go into the next session for Katt. Adonai, 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 Yallah, 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 Yallah. I invoke you, Lord, by the power of Brahma, I invoke you, Lord, by the power of Brahma, Melgadam, Duran, Mardar, Manjal, Nargam, Bargar, Almar, Gadia, the Lord, Rangadi, Marjal, Agdaran, Gamas, Bilan, Radha, Gidia, Gamni, Ozimia, Zimia, Gamba, Marjal, Gamara, Mirajal, Yol, Bargal, Malia, Marjal, Radia, Vias. I invoke you, Lord, by the power of Brahma, Melgadam, Duran, Mardar, Marjal, Nargam, Bargar, Almar, Gadia, the Lord, Rangadi, Marjal, Agdaran, Gamas, Bilan, Radha, Gidia. Ramya, Ozimia, Zimia, Gamba, Marjal, Gamara, Mirajal, Yol, Bargal, Malia, Marjal, Radia, Vias. I invoke you, Lord, by the power of Brahma, Melgadam, Duran, Mardar, Marjal, Nargam, Bargar, Almar, Gadia, the Lord, Rangadi, Marjal, Agdaran, Gamas, Bilan, Radha, Gidia, Ramya, Ozimia, Zimia, Gamba, Marjal, Gambara, Mirajal, Yol, Bargal, Malia, Marjal, Radia, wish you to be embraced. Your lifelong pact will be accepted. Before you sign it, my daughter, we have to unite. You have to let me into your heart. You have to invoke me with the chant Arta Lilith ona chasaistanach. Arta Lilith ona chasaistanach. Repeat that chant in the sacred space. I will enter your body. When I enter your body, tell me to enter your heart. I will push my energy into your heart center. Then you will visualize the tentacles coming out of your heart center and focus on all of the things, people, and phenomena you hate. Then you will focus on using those tentacles to drain the energy of those phenomena and push it through your heart into my essence, which is within you. That way, your heart will open through me, through the drainage of blood. You will do it for 13 nights in a row. Then you will write on the piece of paper, what do you wish from me on the pact and of the pact? And my answer to your terms is as follows. The only thing I want from you is to be invoked on the night of black moon for the rest of your life via the method I provided. After you write your requests, you will write down my request, which I stated. Then you will tell me to consecrate the paper of the pact, and I will do so. No additional chance for consecration will be required. You will feel my energy radiating from the paper every single time you call me and tell me to consecrate the pact. Consecrate the pact for at least 21 nights, and then the paper will be ready for signing. Write your name and spill your blood upon the name on the bottom of the paper. The pact will be signed. Wrap it and leave it somewhere. Of course, you don't have to make a pact while you are not ready. Keep doing the ritual I gave you until you feel ready. Making the tool you wish to make will make ritual more powerful, significantly powerful, much stronger. And celibacy is powerful on my path, but it is not required. You can do with yourself whatever you want, as long as you wield my essence, and as long as you invoke me, and don't butcher without restraint. I am fine. I am advising you to not butcher without restraint, because if you butcher without this restraint, you will destroy yourself. Okay, it seems that the both of those pacts are accepted for both Jose and Kate. Thanks for watching, and if you want more content like this, like and subscribe. If you want the channeling like this to be performed for you, contact me through the links in the description. And thank you for support.